Is it time for you to make some lifetime career and income choices? You are watching Life Choices UK Television.
Right, good evening everyone. My name is Jeff Drew, and it's my very great pleasure to welcome you to our presentation this evening for Forever Living. Now, if anyone has a phone, could you put it on silent or switch it off? That would be really helpful. Thank you. So what we're going to do this evening, we're going to show you our company, we're going to show you the various marketplaces that we operate in, and we're going to show you our products. We're going to show you the incomes that you can expect to be earning with us, the packages that come with those incomes, and what we actually do. Hopefully this will, if there's any new people in the room, for example, this presentation is really for you, and it's just an opportunity for you to gather information. Hopefully it will create lots of questions. I'm going to ask if you could keep those questions until the end, but please make sure you get all of those questions answered. And as I said, for the new people here, that was me nearly 17 years ago, and 17 years on, I'm still here and I'm still smiling, so something must be right. But 17 years ago, obviously, we didn't have laptops, we didn't have PowerPoint presentations. I saw this around someone's kitchen table with a mug of coffee and lots of pieces of paper, and I got it. I got it straight away. I couldn't believe my luck coming across this company, because at the time I owned and ran a series of franchises. I used to franchise dating agencies, which is how I met my wife that you'll meet later. So obviously it worked. But if you've had your own business, you'll know, having your own business is pretty tough. As my company grew, I found I was working longer hours, I was commuting more, I was away from home more, seeing less and less of my family. And I think a very good friend of mine must have thought enough of me to ring me and just point me in the direction of this company. So I'll tell you more later what's happened to us over the last coming up to 17 years now. I'm sure you'd agree. I think it's pretty tough out there. Economic climate's pretty tough right now, and lots and lots of challenges that come with this tough climate that we find ourselves in. Working longer hours, for example. Anyone working longer? I'm meeting so many people now, and they're saying to me, I'm lucky to keep my job. They're not only telling us that we've got to work longer hours, but we're even getting pay cuts as well. And, I don't need to tell you about the traffic jams out there. And it's not necessarily that it's taking us longer to get to, or we're commuting further. It's just there's so many cars out there right now. And this job security thing. In my father's time, 50 years ago, there was this thing called a job for life. And my father, in his 50 years of working, had 2 jobs. I think now we're expected not just to have a series of jobs, but actually have career changes as well, many, many times over. And then there's the pension options. Again, in my father's time, I think there was you would work 45, 50 years and then retire on a pension and live a comfortable life. But we all know that that doesn't exist anymore. But even with all of this, we've all got needs. For example, does anyone feel they can't get enough time in a day? Or like a bit more extra time? I mean, that was certainly us. Jean and I, we were ships in the night. She'll tell you about her job, but we found we were just seeing each other less and less and less. And financial independence, we're one of the most debt-ridden countries in the whole of Europe. There are now more people getting to retirement age and having to get a job, or having to get 2 jobs or even 3 jobs just to get by. And certainly for us, we were looking for a new way of working. I'd run my business for a number of years. I knew if I'd carried on doing that, it was just going to be more of the same. I liked the idea that we could work flexible hours from home, have more time with our family. I think success means different things to different people, but we're all living longer. I think there's more people over the age of 50 now than there are under the age of 50. So if we're going to be living longer, surely we want better health as well and have that quality of life and lifestyle. But I think at the end of the day, isn't it peace of mind that we're all looking for? Let's look at the Forever story. This company was set up 35 years ago now by the man in the picture. His name is Rex Maughan. This is a privately owned company owned by the Maughan family, based on very strong family values, very strong ethical values. And Rex, his goal 35 years ago was to be the most successful company in the health and nutrition markets, and that's exactly where we are today. Now, in that 35 years, let's look at what's happened. They've now grown to over 150 countries. I'm going to bring all of these up so we can see them. Last year, just short of $3 billion US turnover. On top of that, $1.5 billion in assets in the form of properties that this company owns all over the world with no mortgages on any of them. If you add that to the cash rich and they're debt free, they've never borrowed money. When I saw that 17 years ago, that told me long-term security. If you look at a lot of companies out there right now that are struggling or have already gone bust, they've got debt problems, they've got cash flow problems. We don't have any of those. Also, this company has grown consistently every year for the last 35 years. And that's because when Rex set this company up, he brought a lot of very successful people in with him as this board of directors. And the majority of those people are still in place now 35 years on. So they're steering this company to success. Now we're bringing a lot of new people in with fresh ideas as well. This is our world head office in Scottsdale, Arizona. I mean, even this building, for example, used to be owned by the Wells Fargo Bank. Rex bought it off the Wells Fargo Bank. It now leases a small part of our head office back to the Wells Fargo Bank. So even our world head office generates an income. That's pretty smart, isn't it? Let's look at the annual sales, what's happened. Consistent growth, as I said, for the last 35 years. And when you consider we've had 3 recessions in that time, wars in that time, and this company has consistently grown every single year. That's great, but let's look at what's happening here in the UK. Been here since 1993. This is our UK head office. It's Longbridge Manor, sort of grade 2 listed building, central UK in Warwick. And again, we bought that for cash in the first year of the UK, trading in the UK for cash as a commitment to everyone here. 2012, we grew by 13% to 40 million. 2013, we grew by 27% to over 50 million. So, we're going in the right direction. Now, a lot of people I talk to haven't heard of this company, but I think most people are aware of things like the Investors in People. It's a government-backed organization awarded to companies who excel in coaching, training, and giving support to the people that are working with them. But we have it at the top level, the gold level. We're also what we call champions. There's only a handful of companies in the UK at this level. And what that means is any company now applying for the Investors in People are actually sent to our UK head office to say, this is the kind of standard that you need to be looking at. So we're very, very proud of that one. And we're also award-winning members of the Direct Selling Association. Again, they're our UK trade body. So a very credible company. I think any company is only as good as its products. So what I'd like to do next is introduce a very good friend of mine, Sarah. And what can I say about Sarah? She's achieving everything, pretty much everything that you're going to be seeing here this evening. Building a huge business. In fact, last month alone, her business grew by another 63% in 1 month last month. So I can't think of anyone better to talk about these amazing products. So please give Sarah a warm welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. As Jeff said, my name is Sarah Matiasek. My background was actually a mixture of things, but the last sort of 8 or 9 years I worked in marketing and creative recruitment. I loved what I was doing, but I don't know if anybody can relate to this. With young children, commuting, very, very stressful. I was juggling, and I thought, I can't carry on doing this. And at the time, I actually came across one of the products I was introduced to for my back pain I'd had for a number of years, and within about 30 minutes, my pain had subsided. So I really took a look at the product and the quality of the product, but also what I discovered was the business. And I'd realised I'd got my hands on something that could give me more flexibility around my young children, but also allow me to earn a good income. And actually, that's exactly what's happened to this day. I now don't have a day job. This is what I do. I run my business around the little ones, who are not quite so little now, they're at school. But it's given me that time freedom. I'm able to work my business a bit more now. It's given us a great family lifestyle. We can go away when we choose and we don't have to ask the boss, and it's a fantastic feeling. And on top of that, I've got a fantastic, significant income now that's contributing to the family household. So it's a great, great feeling. My pleasure to take you through these fantastic products, which is why I joined this business. So why Forever Products? Well, quite simply, we are the world's #1 grower, manufacturer and distributor of aloe vera products and beehives. We don't, and long before it was fashionable to be producing products organically, we don't use herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers. We're completely GM free. And what we use is what's called the inner leaf gel. And if you break open that aloe leaf, inside is a sticky gel. And that inner leaf gel contains all the nutrients, and that's what's feeding our body. So that's the only part we use. And what Forever have done, they've got a patented process that enables them to keep that essentially live. They've stabilized it. And that's unique to our company. So we've got superior quality products. Now, I don't know about you, I didn't really know anything about aloe vera. And so when I joined the business, I looked at some of the trainings you can do. And we've got this team of professionals that you can see on the board here. We've got Dr. Peter Atherton, he was a medical GP. We've got Dawn Parker, who's a nutritionist. And we've got David Urch, who's actually a Somerset vet. So I went along to some of these trainings, and you were able to get lots of advice and help at the end of an email as well. And they run lots of trainings around the country. So we've got good support there that we need. Now you can see on the screen we've got various kite marks, and these are signs of seals of approval, and also the quality of the product and the purity. We're completely animal friendly, and I'm sure that's important for most people these days. But that top one is the thing that stood out to me. The company offer an unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee on all the products. So it gives you the chance to offer your customers the chance to try the product for 60 days, and the company underpin that. How fantastic is that? So the product range, you can see on the screen, lots and lots of areas. Personal care, I'm sure you all got up today, had a shower, brushed your teeth, washed your hair. So these are all products that we've got in our range. Weight management, everybody wants to look good and feel much better, don't they, and lose a few pounds along the way. Animal care is a huge range of products for animals, nutritional supplements. So these are all areas we've got products in. So we've got over 200 different products in our range. So who buys them? Well, everybody around you, in fact. When I first started, I looked at the people around me. I had friends, I had family members. My mum was using it for her digestive problems. So you've got mums with young children who could use the products, families. We've got lots of sports people using the products. So who do you know that goes to a gym? I knew quite a few people that did a lot of training. Animals, you can see there, and people in their mature years who just want to look and feel much healthier, because we're all living a lot longer these days. So anyone around you is a potential customer. So I thought to myself, would I use these products? Well, I knew I used one because I'd already got my hands on one of those products. But what I'm just going to take you through is a few of my very favourite products here, and just why I started using them. The first one I'm going to start with is the reason I looked at this business. This is our aloe heat lotion, and this is really a warming product. It's got menthol and eucalyptus in there, and when I put this onto my back, this is what took down all those anti-inflammatory properties that the aloe's got in it and gave me that pain relief quite quickly, actually. So lots of people use this in sport. I've got a lot of customers use it for sport. You can use it on any achy, creaky joints or any tension areas. A really good all-round one here. You can put it in the bath to help clear the airways for children. It's a really good one. Now, my other favourite one I'm going to pick out is, never thought I'd be raving about soap, but it is the aloe vera hand and face soap, and that's exactly what it is. It's really moisturising. You can shower with it, you can wash hands, face with it, you can remove makeup even with it. It's a great all-round here, and you can use this for babies all the way through. So we were finding we were using quite a lot of these products with our family. And my absolute all-time favourite is this one. I don't know if you knew you could drink it, but you do now. This is one of our aloe vera drinks, and this is essentially live aloe in here, pure gel. And when you drink this, it floods your body with nutrients. It's got 75 different vitamins and minerals and amino acids. So I just found I had more energy. I found I just jumped out of bed every morning. I found that my stomach felt flatter. I found my digestive problems just felt a bit better. I've got lots of people who use this for digestion, and also my husband was drinking this, and to begin with, he did find the taste rather challenging. But now he's the one who goes and gets a big glass every morning. So you just know it works when people go and do that. And even my children take it as well. And you just find we don't get the coughs, colds, flu bugs. It's great on the immune system, and that's what aloe is particularly good for, and also for the skin. So a really good all-round health tonic you can take on a daily basis. So I got my hands on one of these, what we call a bit of an evaluation box, really. It's got everything in here to get started in your business. You've got all the literature you need and all the bits and pieces, the book that Dr. Peter Atherton's written, and lots of different products to get your hands on. And I really got started on trying those products. I got using them, I got drinking them, I got putting them on, and that gave me a really good idea what the products were going to do for us. And that box is $199.75. And we're really not asking you to invest a huge amount in forever. They don't need your investment. This is an investment in yourself, your health, your family's health, and a very small investment for what you're going to see, which is some of the incomes that you can earn by working with Forever. So I am now going to hand you over to a fantastically successful lady, Jean Drew, who's building a huge and has built a massive international business, been in the business a long time, and she's going to take you through the really fun stuff, which is actually our income opportunity and how you make some money with Forever.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And have you any doubts why Sarah's business is growing at, what was it, 63% since last month? That's phenomenal, isn't it? How many jobs grow your salary grows at that rate? So anyway, my name is Jean Drew. It's my great pleasure to take you through the opportunity now, which is all about really showing you how the money works. Anyone interested in earning some extra money? Yeah, anyone interested in earning a lot of extra money? Yes, well, that was me. Let me tell you about my background. I had a job 17 years ago. Any of you have a job or have had a job in the past? Yeah, you all look really excited about the idea of having a job. That was me as well. I happened to be in the telecoms industry. I was working long hours. I was well paid. I climbed that corporate ladder, and I was living in the southwest. But I like to say I was highly paid but highly stressed. But it's very difficult to get that balance, isn't it? It's very difficult to get that balance of having a good income and having a lifestyle at the same time. Does anybody relate to that? That was me. And as you heard, Jeff was running his own business, and between the two of us, we really didn't have very much time or work-life balance at all. Now, when Jeff looked at this, I have to say my only reason for looking at this was to talk out of it. So obviously something went terribly wrong when I came along to an evening like this, and here we are nearly 17 years down the line. So it's my great pleasure now to take you through and help you get your head around the opportunities and how they work. Now, one thing that was very important to me as we were getting involved was to make sure that whatever I stepped into was an ethical and honest business, and I'm pleased to see that over the years that's totally been the case with Forever Living. So I'm very proud to work alongside a company like Forever Living that has those ethics and values. So how does it all work? Well, one of the things I really wanted to make sure when I was looking at something, with my sort of business head on, if you like, I don't know if I had a business head, but was to make sure that I was getting into something that was growing. Would you agree that if you want to look at something, you want to get involved in a growing marketplace? Does that make sense? Doesn't it? So look at some of the statistics there. I mean, those are only some examples, really. They're massive markets, aren't they? They're already big markets, but the really important, exciting thing is they're booming markets as well. So that was a massive tick in the box for me. That was a kind of a no-brainer, really. So how does it actually work? Well, it starts with you in the middle, trying the products out, as you heard from Sarah. And we just talk to people. Who do we talk to? Well, people that you come into contact with in whatever you do during the day, really, whether it's people at work, people at the gym, people at the school gates, or in Jeff and my case, people that we care about. You know, my dad, my brother, family, friends. They were the ones that we talked about, and they've become some of our best customers. So everybody potentially is a customer. So we help people to go out there. Well, we best just use the products and talk to people, basically, and you've already got some customers in there. And we actually encourage people and suggest that they might want to build a customer base of, say, 20 to 30 customers. Now, doing that, and you can earn an income of, say, £200 to £400 a month. Now, I have to say that that did not motivate me at all personally when I first looked at this, because I wasn't looking to earn an extra income of £200 to £400 a month. But I did know other people for whom, for a few hours a week, an extra £200 to £400 a month would be really, really powerful. I knew lots of people who, at the end of the month when they got paid, didn't have any extra money in the bank to do anything with. That's a colossal amount. It'd make a big difference to a lot of people, wouldn't it, for a few hours? So to me, I saw that as a really, really important part of the business, even though it wasn't what attracted me personally into it. I like the idea of team building because that brings you bigger stuff, and that's what I was really looking for. I was looking for something more substantial, more dramatic. And team building just starts, as before, with using the products. We also have our customers, and we conversationally market the products to our customers. But as well as that, we start to develop a team. So how do we do this? So this is a little diagram to help us get our heads around it. On the right-hand side, we're developing customers, because any business is about creating happy customers, isn't it? And we're exactly the same. And on the left-hand side, we happen to do it through lots of people. So we're just going to track how many people you've got in your team. Now, do you think it's possible, of all the people out there at the moment perhaps are worried about redundancies or being made redundant, do you think there are people out there that might be interested in looking at the business? Yeah, or people want to earn some extra money or whatever. All the people out there, we could possibly help you to find perhaps 2 people who see what you see. And we help them to find some customers as well. So straight away, you've got 40 customers and 2 team members. Can you see how that works? Yep. So this is a business about coaching and training and developing people. We then help those 2 people to do exactly the same thing. We duplicate ourselves. So automatically you've got another 4 members now in your business, you've got 4 team members, and you've got 120 customers now. Now, because this is a coaching and training and development business, we duplicate and do the same thing. You've got another 8 team members. You see the numbers going up there, customers, and 16 there. And in total, actually, carrying on like this, we've got about 30 people in your team who you personally have introduced to, and 600 customers. You'd have to be running around and be quite busy to personally look after 600 customers, wouldn't you? Now, that position, that business, is what we call a manager business. And managers typically earn somewhere between £800 to £2,000 a month. So that's how that works. That's how that principle works. Now, instead of thinking about perhaps talking to 2 people, let's go large, let's go faster, let's think bigger, and say, so saying 2, let's go for 5. So we go out and we help you find 5 people. Let's find 5 to duplicate that, and let's find 5 more, and they find 5 more. Look how the numbers are ratcheting up really, really quickly, aren't they? And it keeps going. And, you know, it doesn't happen exactly like that. Obviously, we're not robots, we're people, but the principle's the same. So actually, that's 780 team members, over 15,000 customers. Just think for a moment, what sort of size of retail operation would you need in a traditional business to maintain over 15,000 customers, all the overheads and everything else? So, and this is a business that, well, you know, you could still be doing this part-time if you wanted to, but I used to look at this and think, we used to draw it up on a flip chart, and I used to think, oh, I don't know how that works or if it works in reality. And guess what? 17 years down the line, I can say with confidence that it absolutely, that does happen. So, okay. So, I want to talk to you for a moment about the idea of royalty-style income. Now, I really want to get your head around this, because this is my passion with this business. This is what makes this business so really powerful and different to any other type of business. I'd just like to think for a moment, if you stop working or doing what you're doing to earn the money that brings in and pays the bills for you at the moment, what happens to that income if you stop working? Stops, doesn't it? In most cases, it stops. So in this business, it doesn't stop. If you develop managers and they're independent, they know what they're doing, you're not needed. You've effectively made yourself redundant. But the income, because you've helped to create it, carries on coming in. I like to call it sit on a beach and drink out of a coconut, because that's what you can do when you've got royalty income coming in. You can have your cake and you can eat it. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, our business is about coaching and developing people. But if you do that properly, that's what you can work towards, a royalty style of income. And then it's just a question of where are these managers? They could be in the UK, they could be worldwide. And Jeff and myself, through people in our team, and I know many people in the room, have international businesses with royalty incomes coming in. So how powerful is that you can run an international business from your dining room? So, world of possibilities. So what is your income potential? Let's have a look. If you were looking to earn, say, around 20,000 a year, what's the average income here in the Bristol area? About that, something like that. So if you want to do that, you want to perhaps match your day job or help somebody match their day job, then get to that position of manager that we just showed you how to do. We can certainly show you how to develop that. But go on and help other people to become manager as well. Just show them what you've been shown to do. Perhaps develop 2 managers in your business. You're what we call a senior manager, and you'd be earning in the region of 35,000 a year, say £3,000 a month. So just by helping others and showing them how to do it. Soaring manager is about creating more managers. It happens to be 5. You're talking about £5,000 a month, £60,000 a year. So this sorts of incomes now in that world out there, you're talking about work-life balance and all sorts of stresses and strains. Those jobs are out there, but they're really starting to, you know, that stress is showing, isn't it? So here you can have that royalty income coming in. Sapphire manager is more of the same, and diamond sapphire, just more, and diamond manager as well. Now, those positions are being earned by people in the UK right now. Okay. Worldwide, there are people who are earning double diamond manager incomes. They have 50 managers, triple diamond managers, and even there's a centurion diamond manager. So there is no limit to what you can actually earn from this business. How exciting is that? You're only limited by your own level of expectation and how hard you're prepared to work, obviously. Okay. Now, on top of that, as if we need more, there are extra incentives. And from the position of manager onwards, you're starting to qualify for these. And we have something called, well, we fondly call it a car program. And you can actually put it towards whatever you like. That's a 3-year monthly payment as well. So you can do that. This is one of my favorite ones, travel. How many of you here love traveling? Would like 5-star travel? Yeah, extra money given to you while you're there, spending money? Yeah, very good. That's me. Jeff and I have travelled all over the world with Forever Living. The incentive used to be US, so we've been all over the US and Europe now. But now it's opened up to global, worldwide travel. So you can travel the world and let Forever Living pay for it. How good is that? And you know, the only expense you have to put up is the parking at Bristol Airport. So that's good, isn't it? Okay, so if you like travel, this is your ticket to be able to do that. And on top of that, there's what we call the icing on the cake, if you like. It's called share. It's where we give back a proportion of the profit each year to the people that are building those businesses and helping others to do the same. And they are given out on one of these global events, so you not only get taken there, but you're given one of these checks as well. And they start from a couple of £1,000 or euros or dollars, depending on where they're given out, and they go up to, well, actually the top figure is now double that. 1.1 million US dollars was the top check. Now, I couldn't relate to any of those sort of numbers when I started. The top earning profit share was £48,000, but to me that seemed huge as well. But these days, you know, but how about an extra couple of thousand as a starting point? That's not bad, is it? So those are available as well. And let's just show you how to actually make it happen. How do we actually build your team and help you to do that? And where are those potential team members? Well, just like customers, they're everywhere. The graduate market used to be, that was a market that was pretty confident of their future. Would you agree with that? They knew where they were going. Totally the opposite now, isn't it? I think anybody to do with the graduate system is perhaps feeling very insecure of their future. And they might evolve into one of those people on the right-hand side. Who do you know that feels undervalued and underpaid? You know people like that? A bit fed up, stuck perhaps? Or they're in that revolving door of redundancies. Anybody know anybody's made redundant recently? Or multiple times? How frustrating that must be. The baby boomers heading already into pension age who can't afford to retire or aren't living the life that they really deserve because their pensions aren't coming up to it. Or families, young families who perhaps don't have that extra income that they need to enjoy life or don't have any work-life balance. They're like ships in the night passing one another. That's such a common occurrence these days. So really everybody, again, is a potential team member. So what we do is we make a list of people we'd like to talk to, and then we make contact with them. And we show them a little bit of the business. There are different ways of doing that, but just show them a little bit, give them a taste to see if they'd like to find out a little bit more about how it all works. And if they do, then they come along to a presentation like this. This happens in different formats all across the country. And if you're here this evening, it's presumably, I hope, because you've been through a process like that. If it's not, you might be in the wrong room, but, but that is the process that we follow. Now, if people like what they see and they want to find out more, then the next thing we do is show them how to get started. And that cycle is one that we haven't just kind of invented. It's been used by distributors all around the world for years and years and years, and it's a well-proven and trodden cycle. So we just take people around, and the only difference between people who are earning those huge bonuses and people perhaps smaller businesses is the number of times they've been around that. That's all. So that's how it works. So it's all very well hearing from us, and you can see some people up on the slides there that are doing this already in different backgrounds. But what I'd like to do is introduce a few people in the room who have been in the business a relatively short space of time, and I'd like them to share their stories with you. So first person I'd like to get up, and I must remember to give her a microphone, is I'd like to get up Emily Gazy-Mitchell. Where's Emily? Thank you.
It's on. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Jean. As Jean said, my name is Emily Gazy-Mitchell. My background is actually in the dance and fitness industry, and for the last 5 years I've owned and run my own dance studio. And I was first introduced to Forever nearly 2 years ago now. I'd just been involved in a car accident, and at that time I was suffering with significant problems with my back and horrendous whiplash. And I was really fortunate that somebody showed me one of the products, and it was actually that product that Sarah mentioned earlier, that aloe heat lotion. And what that did for me was provide me with great pain management and really help with my muscle tension. And so at that time, I was then shown the business opportunity. And I really didn't think I had time for that. But what was happening in my business was that I was having to take significant time away because of the problems I was having with my back. So I thought the opportunity to earn an additional income in an area that I love, health and wellness, I just, I've got a passion for that. I thought, well, why not? So to be honest, at the beginning, I didn't really know how it was going to work for me. But 2 years on, 2 back surgeries later as a result of that car accident, one of those my last one just being 7 weeks ago. And I subsequently, as a result of that, at the end of September, what Forever has given me is a fantastic opportunity to earn a really worthwhile income from home, really flexibly around all of my other commitments. And thank goodness I found Forever when I did, because quite honestly, if I didn't, I really don't know where I'd be right now. Thank you.
Gosh, thank you, Emily. What an amazing story, really, isn't it? And as you say, thank goodness, Emily, it's all about timing, isn't it? But fantastic, and the products have worked as well, obviously. So now what I'd like to do is bring up somebody else who's also got an amazing story and they're very different backgrounds. And I'd like to ask Dr. Rebecca Lightfoot to come up. So please give her a warm welcome this evening.
Hello, good evening everybody. My name is Becca Lightfoot, and my background is postgraduate research science and then latterly in primary teaching. And I thought I'd sussed that perfect career that was going to be flexible around the time when we were going to have a family. And I don't think I could have been more wrong. I found it so stressful going back to work as a job share when I'd had my first child, more stressful than full-time, heavily pregnant teaching. And what I found by the time my second child came along was that my husband's job was relentlessly stressful. There was no flexibility in our family life at all. And something had got to give, or it was going to be me. And I think that's a plight of many a working parent, mother or father. Wherever you are, you feel like you really ought to be somewhere else. So I took the tough decision to put my own career on hold because I wanted my boys to be the centre of my life. And I genuinely was not looking for this opportunity when I found it the very same week that I gave up that teaching job. But what I could see straight away was that little bit of flexibility, that little bit of income. It was those little things. It was that independence, keeping that independence financially. I'll buy the coffee today. I'm quite a proud sort of a girl. I'm not very good at being a kept woman. But I could also see a chance to retain my professional identity. I had worked really hard to that point to get it. And it was one of those things, a little bit like Emily, I just didn't talk myself out of for once in my life. And I'm so glad that I didn't. Because now I am one of those people in the room with an international business. And I don't quite to this day know how that happened. But it's true. I am building that business and an amazing team flexibly around my boys and their busy lives. And we have got busy family lives. But I've come to realise my financial future is now more secure than it was going to be, and my pension provision more certain than ever it would have been when I was a teacher. And I'm getting more of those feelings of fulfilment that I went into that job for in the first place that just never happened. But also every single day I'm inspiring my two beautiful boys to, do you know what, dream big. Go for it. Go for anything you want in life and explode that box of everybody else's expectations. And I know I'm doing that because they can watch their mummy working for it, not just wishing about it.
Wow. Gosh, so very much from the heart, isn't it, these stories? And that comes from just living the process, really, and that's what you've done, isn't it? And it is all about timing and our circumstances in life. So thank you guys for those testimonials. So let's just recap for a moment. What are some of the benefits of working alongside a company like 4Living? Well, the first one is that it's a proven business model. Any of you that have run your own business, don't worry. You don't have to spend 80 hours a week sort of getting this off the ground. You can work it part-time, and it's a plug-and-play business as well. So you just plug in and make it happen. There's an uncapped income potential. Now, those of you who have a job, anyone said to you, what would you fancy your salary being next year? Does that happen? No? So when I first saw this, I thought uncapped income potential, that sounds a bit strange, really. You just don't get that in the real world. But do you know, you are only limited by how hard you work and your own expectation of yourself. So, you know, think big. It's a willable income, and I've found that this is an unexpected benefit of doing the business, which is it leaves you a sense that you're going to leave a legacy. You're doing something really, really worthwhile. It doesn't disappear when you do. It can go on and make a huge difference to anybody that you love and care about, basically. So it is a willable business. It offers complete flexibility. Most of us start this business on a part-time basis. I did. Most people do, even though we would love to have started on a full-time basis. We had to start part-time, but you know, it was flexible enough that we could work it in those nooks and crannies of our day jobs. Now flexible means we work it around our holidays, so that's really important. Fantastic training and support. My background is engineering and telecoms. I knew nothing about aloe vera, team marketing, running my own business, so I had to go through a huge learning curve. It was really important to me that I got that training and support. And I have to say now, it's on a totally different level. It's amazing, the training and support that you can get through 4Living. Part of the reason that we got that Investors in People award. And recognition and appreciation. Did anybody slap you on the back today and say, well done? Did that happen? No, I can't see anybody nodding. It doesn't tend to happen in the world out there, does it? In this business, we appreciate everybody because we all start at the same points, and we appreciate everybody as they move up that plan, as they make progress. So will 4Living work for you? I could see when I first looked at this that it could work for lots of people, but I thought maybe it won't work for me. Can I actually do this myself? And the person we were working with said it will if you do certain things, and the things he told us about were very similar to what I'm going to show you now. So let's go through them. It will if you take it seriously and put the time in that any new venture needs. Now, having said that, it's not like, say, a well-known franchise where you have to spend £250,000 on it and you work 80 hours a week for 3 years before you see a profit. But people do buy those franchises because they know they will see a profit eventually. No, you can get a profit from this business from day one. You can be earning money straight away. But in the time that you do have, work smart, and we'll show you how to do that. So if you're prepared to do that, you get a tick in the box. If you're self-motivated and willing to work closely with and learn from others, we can inspire you with what's possible. We can show you how to do it. That's our job. But it's not our job to make you do it. You've got to provide that fuel in the tank, that fire in the belly, or whatever it is. You're going to provide that motivation to make it happen. But if you're prepared to do that, if you have a passion for this, then you get a tick in the box. And you need to embrace change. Tell everybody what you're doing. Don't be aloe vera secret agents. Do get out there and talk to people, but we would suggest that you get some training before you dive out there first. So if you're prepared to do that, you get a tick in the box. And lastly, and probably most importantly, are you willing to think big and dream big? Now, having a job, I don't know about any of you, but we weren't allowed to dream in a job. You just didn't do that. That was kind of American mumbo-jumbo, irrelevant stuff. But it was irrelevant because it didn't matter what I dreamt of. It was down to somebody else's agenda. In this business, you're in control. So you really can think, what do I really want from this? What's my dream that I want to achieve? How big and how fast do I want to go? If I won the lottery tomorrow, what would I really want my life to look like? So think big, dare yourself to do that. And if you're prepared to do that, have big, exciting goals, then you get a tick in the box. And actually, if you do all of these things, then I guarantee that you will be successful working alongside 4Live Living. So that's my slot over now. And what I'd like to do now is to hand back to Jeff, and he's just going to wrap up today. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jean. You know, I find that most people at this stage tend to fall into one of three camps. You know, maybe you're looking at this and saying, you know, the company's got a great track record, grown consistently for the last 35 years. All of the markets are booming. The products are unique, consumable. Everyone needs them. The business plan works, but that's not really what I'm looking for. And that's okay. You know, the door's not locked. But what I would suggest is don't walk past those products. There are products on that table that can help with your health, and certainly the people's health that you care about. Or maybe it's, I still have questions. And what I would suggest, if that's you, you still have questions, please grab someone who looks like they can answer those questions for you this evening, but make sure you get those questions asked before you leave. Or maybe you're like I was. I just thought, if half of this is true, this train is leaving the station and I need to be on board. You know, this thing's only going to continue to grow. I may as well be part of that. And if that's the way you're thinking this evening, then what we need to do next is we need to get you registered. This is what I like to call your International Business Building License. It gets your name on the UK computer, so they know where to send your money every month. That's important. But it also means that you can build that international business in any one of the 155 plus countries that 4Live are currently operating in. So that's really important. Second thing I would recommend you do is get hold of some products. Now, 4Live don't charge any joining fee. All they say is you need to evaluate the products. If you're anything like us, I wouldn't consider recommending any product unless I tried it, unless I believed in it passionately and I felt comfortable to recommend it. And the only way you're ever going to do that is if you try the products. Take them home, munch them, slap them on, drink them. You know, that's the way to get that belief. And I went from logically, with my business background, I went from logically, this company's grown every year, unique markets, logically these products must work. The company wouldn't have grown every year if they didn't. But I went from logically to 10 days later, I had a result with an arthritis problem I'd had for 13 years, and I had had a result with that with only 10 days. And that meant that I came off the painkillers, I came off the anti-inflam that I'd been told by everyone that I would be on for the rest of my life, and I came off all of those in 10 days. So I went from logically the products must work to heartfelt. No one from that day onwards could tell me these products didn't work. And I think that's really important. Next thing to do is book a planning meeting. Tell whoever invited you here today. Tell them what you're looking to achieve from this. You'll notice they're working their socks off to make sure that you're successful. And the people working with us, they needed to know, well, you know, what are you looking to achieve? How much time do you have available? And the reason they need to know, we need to know, is because we need to know how much time to put in and help you and support you. So that's really important as well. Do you remember this one from the beginning? You know, just think about the last 5 years, for example. Think about where were you 5 years ago? Where were you living? What was your job, your business? What was your income level? What was your quality of life and your lifestyle like 5 years ago? Now bring yourself to today, and how much has that income, quality of life and lifestyle, how much has that improved? Now take yourself another 5 years ahead, and where do you see yourself 5 years from now doing what you're doing? And do you think you'll be living your life of your goals and your dreams and your passions, or won't you? And if right now, when you're looking that 5 years ahead and you're thinking, well, I can't see myself living the life of my goals and my dreams and my passions, and maybe now is the time to do something about it. And I think that's what we've done this evening. We've shown you an opportunity. This is a vehicle. This is a vehicle, and you know, to enable you to achieve those goals. But I also think it's the best vehicle in the UK. So what I have done this evening, what we have done as a team is, you know, we've taken away from you one thing, and that's the opportunity for you to ever say that I wasn't shown that way to achieve those goals. So I'd like to thank you for coming along. I'd like to thank the speakers this evening, and try the products. You know, they're all open. Come up and try them, and but please come up and get all of those questions answered. Thank you. My pleasure.
Is it time for you to make some lifetime career and income choices? You are watching Life Choices UK Television.